This is Walt and Mel back to the Philippines. I'm back in America right now, and I'm going to do a little how-to video or do-it-yourself video. Something that I need to do around the house to get ready to sell. Okay, what I'm going to be doing is changing some glass window panes in aluminum windows. I've watched some videos on it. I've seen some good ones. I've seen some bad ones. So I thought I'd throw my own in there and see what you all think of it. Okay, the tools I'm going to be using is you definitely want to have this little gem right here, your scraper. You're going to need, I got a small flathead screwdriver. I've got a bent up flathead screwdriver. I've got my silicone, 100% silicone, which is what I use, water-based. Try not to use a whole lot of that, but use it. The hammer, it looks like something strange for glass, but the reason I use the hammer is it's sometimes it's a lot easier to break the glass to get it out than it is to try to take out big pieces at a time. This is a piece of glass that I had cut. I bought a 36-inch piece of glass, 36 by 36, and I had 3 different panes of glass cut out of it for 3 different windows. Now that's buyer beware, because you'll go into a box store, hardware store, even glass where they cut glass, and if I ask for that little piece you see right there, which is about 12 inches one way and I think 14 inches the other way, they would charge you for the whole 36-inch piece of 36 by 36 or 24 by 24, whatever they cut off of, and wouldn't save you any. So I had 3 pieces of glass cut out of that 36 because I needed 3 pieces of glass and there was very little left over. I told them to use a 36 by 36, and that one is about 1/8 inch to 3/16 inch wide. This is what they call glazing. It's used in manufactured homes, it's used in regular houses, it's used in everything. And it's just a snap-in glazing that you also want to use a silicone on to snap it in. Now, I'm bringing 2 pieces with me out to where I'll be working, because I like to put the bottom and the top in, because it raises it up off of the bottom. Because when you're just using the silicone, it's not dry, it's going to slide down to the bottom. So putting the bottom piece in is going to keep it from sliding down. The top piece is going to hold it in place, and that way you can take that small little skinny screwdriver I showed you and move it around so that you have the right amount of space on each side so that you can snap in your glazing. The glazing I'm bringing out in this size, which is actually leftover, but more than enough to go on the top and the bottom of this. And I'll use a pair of scissors, which I don't have in the shown right now, but you'll see me use them later maybe. And a pair of gloves. I don't know about anybody else, but if I'm going to play with glass, I'm going to wear gloves with leather so that I don't cut myself up, and I cut up very easily, so I don't play with that. Now, the molding I'm talking about, you see it right there. Now, that comes in 12 feet. 12 feet long, and it's like I paid like $3, less than $3 or $3 per each one. For the glass cut, I paid $28 for it, $28 or $29 I paid for the glass. So I've got a total of probably, and the silicone, with the silicone and everything, I've probably got less than $50 in everything, and of course my labor. If you had somebody do this, they're going to charge you $100 just to say hi. So it's a big difference. Okay guys, we're out at the window. I got some cardboard I'm going to slide up here underneath. The broken window is right here. Glass broken out here and here. The glazing I'm talking about are pieces that run down the side of each way, top, bottom, whatever. So what we're going to do is get my little screwdriver and see if we can pop out a piece of this glazing so you can see how it comes out. And by the way, don't try to save this stuff because you're not. It's going to pop and fall apart. This one's going to prove me wrong and come out in one piece probably. But you don't want to try to save it because you're wasting your time, and time is money. That's what the guys that do the work will tell you. And I've already pulled it out of the side. I didn't want to make this a 10-hour video. And let's see if we can get the top started here. Maybe in pieces, but I'll take it anyway and get it. Let's try for the other side. This is an extremely tough piece of glazing to get out, but it's been in there for a while, so I can understand that. Okay, now basically the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be busting out the window, because you can't take out one piece at a time. So basically I'm going to be going inside and I'll open it up and start. Well, I could probably start popping some of it loose now, but I'm going to make sure that I put my gloves on. Gloves, and also I'm wearing glasses. They're not safety glasses, but they'll work for what I'm doing. And let's see, I'm going to switch to a bigger screwdriver. Not too much bigger, but a little more pride power. I'm not ready to break out the hammer yet, but the day is still young. You can get the idea of what I'm doing here. This is basically busting out the window, and this is actually the most time-consuming and long thing to do. You don't want to tear your window frame apart doing it. So you just have to work at it slow and easy. So I'm not going to make you all sit here and watch all of that. I'll get back to you when I start back. Okay, I got it cleaned up as much as possible, which is good enough. And what I left out is you do need two more things. You need a measuring tape, and you also need a pair of scissors if you're working with the glazing, so you can measure it and cut it. Because remember, I told you you want one at the bottom and one at the top. The sides are not that important to do immediately, because once you get the top and the side, top and the bottom in, you can move it over and make it fit. What we're going to do now is we're going to throw some glazing on it. Actually, we're going to throw the silicone on it, not the glazing yet. Get my silicone here. I just love silicone. It's always so messy. so hard to get out of the tube. But again, remember, you don't need a whole bunch of this stuff. Although there I go saying that and making a mess. That's okay. It's one thing, you know, I always buy clear, and I think I should buy something with a color to it so I can see it going on. Because you just can't see how much you're actually putting of the clear. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, it's back to the Philippines, and I shouldn't have to change this window again. I forgot to mention my little wasp friend here. Actually, I don't think it's a wasp. I think it's a dirt dauber. They sting too, but not as bad as the wasps. They're not as territorial. They're not protecting as a wasp is of their home. But we're coming down to the end of this scenario. And we're ready to throw the glass in. By the way, it's important that, and I left that out, is that when you, before you take and bust all that glass out, you want to, once you get your molding, glazing, whatever you want to call it, out of the sides, you want to put your glass in there to make sure that it fits. Because if it doesn't, by then you got to run to make, and you don't want to have to do that. Especially now since it's looking cloudy. I took a little glass cleaner and clean this off. Let's see which way we're going here. I believe it's this way. Oh, like a glove. Now, like I said, what I want to do before it gets too dry is I want to stick my bottom piece in there. I might have to get my little handy dandy screwdriver to get it up high enough to do that. And this stuff is strange because you look at it and you say, you try to figure out how it actually goes in. Don't go crazy because it goes in strange. You would think the lip is for something other than just resting on the window, but it's not. Okay, the most important one is done. The bottom. Now, let's go ahead and lock the top in. I'm gonna have to mess up my, oh, it looks like it's already on there, but let's put a little more silicone on there so that it sticks a little better. My wasp buddy or whatever has been very friendly over here, he hasn't bothered me too much. And I want to tell him or her that I really appreciate that, because I don't feel like getting stung right now. Just a few drops. And when I put this in, that's going to allow me to be able to move my sides, which is kind of important, to make sure that that molding is going to fit in with that glazing. I call it molding because it looks like molding, but I guess that's why they get paid the big bucks, to call it the right name, right? That's going to be good. Now I just need to take some measurements, write down my final measurements of the side, and clean this mess up, because I got glass everywhere. But before I do that, let me get my little screwdriver and make sure I've got this separated correctly. The side needs to go a little further over that way, so that we have space for our molding. And I think we do now. Maybe too much. That should be okay, because I'm going to be going outside as soon as I clean this mess up. Cut those. Like I said, I cut them out at the long piece, and this is what you see later. I'm going to talk to you on the camera later, and we'll go over everything I've done, but I think it's pretty well open and shut. New glass, new window. This side popped out a little bit, but I got plenty of this stuff to replace it. We're good for now. I'll be back. Okay guys, we're gonna end this video up. I'm gonna just show you this window. I replaced this one, but I've pretty much finished that one. Got to do some work on the screen. By the way, I'm replacing all the screens, and maybe we'll get into a video about that. But I kind of promised you at the end that I would show you the ones that I replaced. I replaced all these screens except for that one. Waiting for the parts on that. And let's go to my wonderful little home away from home here. I don't know if I got a video on when I built this deck, but I built this deck. The first one I replaced was that one there. Pretty good size window. Now that's one of the three that I was talking about. That one right there is the one we worked on the last time, and we replaced that one. So actually, sorry about that, it's that one right there that I replaced. Got to get the screen back in there, and then go down here to the front. And looks like my wife put the screen back in, but I replaced that one right there. I'm waiting on the parts for the screens. I'm having a hard time getting them. the word of the wise, if you're getting screens, make sure you can get the parts, because right now, for some reason, they don't have mill. It's not available. So guys, listen, this is Walt and Mel back to the Philippines. Again, you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, whatever you happen to be in, and we'll talk to you on the flip-flop. And hey, push the button subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and I need some subscribers to get this channel going. Bye for now.